G'day Jabronis, this is Averd back with you again, here with our first of the re-uploads versus Cheeseboy628, my boy Cheese. It's going to be a pretty interesting matchup. I'm kind of mad at myself. I literally just had to re-record this thing because I initially recorded it with my camera smack bang in the middle of the screen, which is where it wasn't meant to be. It's back up in the corner now. Hi, there I am. But yeah, this is a pretty cool matchup against Cheese. I was very surprised by the team that he brought. He chose not to bring Mandibuzz, Serena, Porygon Z, Slowbro, a lot of threats that I really thought he would consider in this matchup. So, not to say that Beware is not a threat, not to say Escavalier is not a threat. I just personally expected Mandibuzz over Escavalier because I think Mandibuzz is a better overcoat user on his team. Escav is effectively only there as a check to Kieran. However, the combination, I believe, of Clefable and Slowbro can pretty successfully kind of deter most Kieran variants, honestly. Well, I mean, except for mine, but I mean, yeah, even mine, true, because, like, I'm Specs, so if I Blizzard and Clef takes it, then you can just go out to Slowbro and wall it, and vice versa with the Dragon move. Like, I don't really have a way out of that combo, so there's that, but, you know, where it is, like, it is what it is, and Beware versus PZ is pretty much a coin flip. Both can be incredibly good. I just found that my team was a little bit weaker on the physical, on the special side. Even though I have a T-Tar, I felt like he had enough breakers for T-Tar. So PZ just made more sense in my eyes. But you know what? It is what it is. What I'm seeing right now is just a very, very good matchup for my Escavalier. Sorry, not my Escavalier, my Kieran. So I want to lead with my Kieran here against him, and he actually leads with Escavalier. So this is pretty good for me. I have a couple of options here. The two options that are going through my mind. Is he staying in? And if he is staying in, what move is he clicking? So if he's staying in, then it's fine. Because I can obviously live any hit that he throws at me. And if he is offensive, then he... Sorry, put it this way, right? If Cheese is an offensive form of Escavalier without an Ockerberry or an Assault Vest, he will get O-Code by Hidden Power Fire from Modest Specs Kieran. If he is any kind of bulky variant of Escavalier, like as in using an Assault Vest over a band, there is no way he can knock out my Kieran. So what I was considering was two plays here. One was going out to Buzzwole to take the potential Iron Head that's being thrown at me, to maybe make him think that I don't really have a way on Kieran to hit his Escavalier, and try and play some mind games there. Or I could just stay in and click HP Fire and not necessarily risk my Kieran, but like, you know, put pressure on his Escavalier. So what I choose to do here is just drop the HP Fire turn 1, and he is definitely Assault Vest from that damage, but like I said, because he's AV, there is no way unless he crits me, he can knock me out. So that's puts me in a really strong position here where I was actually kind of surprised even for Iron Head. Knowing Cheese, I kind of expected knockoff because being able to get rid of Kieran's Specs would have kind of allowed Clef to be able to deal with it a bit better. It would have made Camel be able to take hits better, but at the same time I can understand the Iron Head play because he's basically put my Kieran into Stealth Rock range, which basically means I have to play really aggressively around the Camel and the Clef if I want to keep Kieran around in this game. So I'm just going to HP Fire again. Psych, I go into T-Tar because I figured what he would want to do is go into his Mega Camerupt on this turn because he clearly knows from the calc that I have been a, that I am a, what do you call it, Specs, like a Modest Specs. So he knows that his best play is into either Zygarde, Mega Camerupt, or Clefable. And against all three of those, I have... So, what I was trying to think of was two options, right? It was covering him for some reason, staying in and sacking his Escavalier, going for like knockoff, which obviously my T-Tar can tank, as well as Iron Head, T-Tar can tank that, and then proceed to Pursuit Trap and kill the Escavalier was the whole kind of plan. But it also covered the play into Clef, into Camerupt, or into Zygarde, as I have ways on my T-Tar to hit all of them super effectively, and it puts immediate pressure on his team. So Clef does come in, and we see that it takes Sandstorm damage, and what that tells us is that he is unaware, which means that Hawlucha cannot set up an SD in this game. It's not going to happen because Clef just ignores stat boosts. So got to keep an eye on that. I'm just going to go for my rocks first and foremost. The reason I go for rocks over going for an Iron Head is because honestly, realistically, it was a dumb play on my part. What I should have done that turn was gone for the Expert Belt Iron Head on the Clefable. Realistically, I guess what I was thinking of was that I kind of figured that he'd go into Beware. I don't know, I had a feeling that he would go into Beware. Just because, like, Clef is the only thing on his team that can realistically take on my Hawlucha. So if T-Tar has, like, if he's banned an Iron Head or something, he doesn't want to risk his Clef taking that much damage and being that low, because then Hulucha's acrobatics is just knocking it straight out. So I figured Cheese would want to preserve his Clef a bit better in this game, so I went for Rocks to play it safe, but he just chooses to knock off, which sucks, because as you're going to see on the next turn, I am obviously going to fire off that Iron Head, since he's apparently keen on staying in. That did 52. So with an Expert Bow added on, that's doing like a clean 75. So, like, that's insane. I don't know, like, why. That's what I'm saying. I didn't think it was right for Cheese to risk it. I guess maybe he thought I wasn't that offensive of a T-Tar, or expected Rocks. Either way, it worked out for him, but then it doesn't work out for him because I get a flinch. And this flinch really sucks for Cheese, because not only does it put it in range of another Iron Head from my T-Tar, he potentially could have gone for the Soft Boil, although I believe if you're unaware you can only go for Moonlight, and because of T-Tar's ability, Sandstream, Moonlight would have only got 25% back. So I would have basically had Clef on the ropes regardless, I guess, with T-Tar, but he would have been in much better health. So that's super duper unfortunate. It forces him out into Beware. I'm obviously going to Iron Head again because, like, Cheese has been playing like odd to try. He's not looking to preserve mobs, so I clicked Iron Head again there. He's going to go out to Beware. I'm going to go out to my Buzzwole as he SDs up, and I'm like, oh damn, this has happened now. I was a little bit concerned with this because I was happy, but also a bit annoyed. So I was happy because SD Beware means there was no choice item. Choice item could be actually really dangerous for my team, like Banded Beware is actually a huge threat. So seeing SD gives me a bit of confidence knowing that my Coco, my Hulucha, Kieran can just come in and deal some damage. What I'm going to do here though is go hard back into my T-Tar. Seems like a bit of an odd play to do, but he actually is going to reveal little Malium Z, which my T-Tar is going to be able to tank. So that works out really nicely. I was contemplating doing that with T-Tar or doing that with Kieran, but I felt Kieran was a little bit more essential here because effectively with Rocks up now, Ice Beam just knocks out everything. Weavile doesn't take shit, Clef just does, everything just dies to modest Specs Ice Beam. So I figured I'd keep Kieran around, try and put pressure on that way, and then with T-Tar I'm just going to go for the Iron Head, try and snag a flinch, but he's just going to Drain Punch and kill me, which is fine at this point. Now the big thing is, since I've seen the Z move too, it means that I know that he's not Roselli Berry, so what I can kind of freely just do this turn is go into my Coco and just drop a Dazzle on this Beware. He goes out to Camel, and I'm able to just Dazzle this thing up and get off a good chip. And this damage is really important because what it tells me is pretty much what I expected. He's pretty much a max HP camera. Now, the thing for Cheese though in this matchup, what he doesn't know is I'm packing HP Water on my Coco, and HP Water from here is like, it's a 50-50 roll to knock out Campbell, but I was contemplating between two plays this turn. I was like, right, Cheese has two options. He's either going to go for Stealth Rocks with his camera up, and, you know, potentially, you know, by getting those rocks up, he's knocking out Kieran. But then I thought to myself, right, well, if he does that though, and I stay in and click HP Water, then his Campbell's basically dead, and he doesn't really have a lot left for Coco. Like, Coco outspeeds Weavile and knocks it out after Rocks with Dazzle. I can Z-move the Zygarde, I can knock out Beware, I can knock out Escape with Thunderbolt, Clef's dead to Thunderbolt and Terrain, and then I also realised that I kind of had him checkmated on this turn. It's crazy that turn 9 I basically had the game checkmated, but because Cheese had been kind of reckless, what I could just do is I could HP Water freely here. If he stayed in and even Earth Powered and killed my Rotom, then I could go into my Holucha and pretty much just kind of seal the deal because I can Acrobatics to knock out Camel, I can Drain Punch to kill Weavile, I can Acrobatics to kill Beware, I can knock out Escape. From this range I knock out Clefable because I'm Adamant, and against Zygarde I can always just SD up if need be. Not to mention I still have the Buzzwole in the back to pressure it too, so realize it was kind of checkmate. I lost nothing from clicking HP Water this turn, as it barely misses out on the KO, but he does go for Rocks. So this works out pretty well in my favour because I am just able to kind of just fire off a Dazzle here for free and knock out his Escavalier. So Escav goes down, and he's going to go out to Zygarde, but obviously, as you guys know, I'm packing the Farium Z, so twinkle twinkle little star, time to knock this Zygarde the fuck out. So Zygarde's gone, he goes into Weavile. Now I make a bit of a contentious play this turn, so what I was looking at, right, was potential calcs and whatnot, and I make what some would see as like a questionable play this turn. I'm actually going to choose to swap out my Coco. Now there's a few reasons why I've chosen to do this. Coco is, above anything else, a win con here. Weavile is pretty much dead to Dazzling Gleam. However, if Weavile is Scarfed, if it's Roselli Berry, if just something happens, Weavile could live this, and Weavile could just go for the jab and knock out Coco. And looking at the end game, I knew that Lucha saw the game one, but remember, if Weavile knocks out Coco on this turn, then Lucha doesn't come in on electric terrain. So I'm never going to be able to outspeed Weavile, and that could actually be a problem in the late game, in the fact that I can't outspeed Weavile. So, on the off chance that he crits or does something that could potentially lose me the game, I don't want to take that risk. I'm not the aggressive player. Like, potentially, because it turns out that he's Life Orb Weavile, Coco pretty much swept me here. But the thing is too, depending on like his clef set from what I saw, if it was max HP, then Thunderbolt outside of electric terrain is a roll to kill his Clefable. So I would have needed the roll in my favour to kill the Clef, otherwise I wouldn't have got the sweep regardless. Coco basically could have 6-0'd him here, but I wasn't all about taking this risk. I decided to go after my Kira and sack it, knowing that Weavile was probably going to go for something. He reveals the jab, so I'm thinking he might be Scarf, so I go into my Buzzwole, because I don't know his item. He reveals Crash, so I know that he's not Scarf now, and he reveals a Life Orb. I fire up a Toxic because Cheese has revealed Poison Jab, and I have a Cobra Berry, so I can live anything this Weavile throws at me. And I figured, knowing that like the only way I can really knock out Weavile from here is with one of my dual stabs, I figured maybe he'd try and go into his Clef this turn to try and get Clef to heal up against the Buzzwole. But he chooses to leave Weavile in, and I was a bit surprised by that, because I can kind of just like roost up against this thing. He does not get the flinch, which is obviously nice, and he's just going to basically die to poison here, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess this is happening, and then I click Drain this turn. So I felt a bit silly that I could have played that a little bit better, potentially, but realistically, there was no reason to risk the chance of, like, because I didn't know what kind of Weavile set he was. He could have been designed to live Coco Dazzle after rocks. Like, Cheese is a madman. You don't understand like the kind of stuff that he's able to pull off, but I do know for a fact that my Amoonguss can 1v1 this Clefable, but he reveals Healing Wish. This is where that Camel living on 1 comes in clutch, but this is where my Amoonguss being a beast comes in clutch. He clicks Sleep Talk. Now this doesn't really matter in the long term of the game, because Amoonguss is about to put in the mightiest of shifts for your boy, because he predicted me to go for Spore, which is fair enough, and that's why I went for Sleep Talk. But obviously, like I said, my Grassrot routine build is a 3-hit KO on max HP Camel, and as you can see, it's going to 3-hit KO, and like I said, I live a modest Fire Blast after rocks, and Sheer Force can't burn me, so Camel's dead. Beware's going to come in. I'm going to let Beware kill me here, get Cheese a nice 2 kills for Beware in this game, and let Coco clean the game up. And yeah, I mean, even if he'd gone for Fire Blast 2 times in a row, or Fire Blast into Earth Power, Coco's still clean from there. HP Water knocked out Camel, Beware, and Weavile still died, so all that would have changed was the same amount of deaths, only Coco would have got 1 more kill over Amoonguss if he had to click that, which could have been good for Coco getting kill leader, but it is what it is. Yeah, I was a little bit annoyed with myself that I didn't just, you know, go for it with Coco against the Weavile, but there were just too many risks on that turn. I just felt like, knowing my luck, something bullshit would happen, so I just didn't want to risk it. But regardless, we do pick up the nice 3-0 win over Cheese. He definitely brought an interesting team, and he played it very interestingly as well. I just really wasn't sure sometimes like how to play around it, because he was making some really aggressive plays, but he kind of opened the door for the combination of Coco and Lucha to kind of dominate. Lucha didn't even hit the field. Didn't really need to, but yeah, we pick up a nice 3-0 win here. Good bounce back from our loss against Adam, so we're currently 1-1+1. We're actually sitting in a pretty good position right now. We're up against Spextar next, which is going to be an interesting game. So last game I have, with the actual team that I have here, I have made some big transactions, and I will announce after the Spextar game. I believe I did record the Spextar game live, so heading into my Week 4 team builder against Shuckle King and the Philadelphia Absol, I will announce the transactions that I've made. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it's taken so long for it to go up. I had to re-upload and all that crap, but hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, like the video, all that good shit. My name's The Bird.